I don't care.
I'm going to have the exhibits ready for sure by the end of the month.
So you have
Welcome
it
to
Friday.
the, ready? Welcome to the August 8th meeting of the Oakland Mayor and Council. Please look at your cell phones, make sure you have turned off the sound, put it on vibrate, and also please refrain from texting because it could be construed as a violation of the Open Public Meetings Act, and it's also discourteous. At this time, roll call.
Mayor Schwager.
Here.
Councilman Bialy.
Here.
Councilman Knapp.
Here.
Councilman Kamala.
Here.
Councilman Levy.
Here.
Councilman Pignatelli absent. Councilman Talamini.
Here. Motion to excuse Councilman Pignatelli. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
At this time, please stand to salute to the flag and remain standing for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. This meeting is being held in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Law duly announced, advertised, and posted in the municipal building. And my mayor's report tonight is very short. Summer, things quiet down. Just a reminder that the Oakland Care Center, also called the Oakland Rehab Center, which had free concerts throughout the summer. The last free concert will be next Thursday evening, August 16th. And it'll be oldies night. You bring your own chair. It's very enjoyable. I did it last year. Very good. It's a live band. They play oldies music, and some people do get up and dance. It's outdoors. And they do have food there for you. So that's very nice, and thank you, Oakland Care Center, for doing that. But if you want further information, you can call 201-337-3300. Just a reminder, you did not receive your tax bill yet, nor will you receive your tax bill this week. There's another delay, still waiting for more information from the state. It's not our fault. We could blame it on the state. We'll blame it on Trenton. So as soon as we know what's going on, when the tax bills are sent out, there will be a grace period, so don't panic. No one has received a tax bill in Oakland. So don't think it was lost in the mail. Nothing is going to happen. That all the tax bills are delayed, and once they're sent out, there will be a notice in the tax bill enclosed, which will tell you the grace period of when the taxes are due. Thank you to the the Communications Commission, Oakland Communications Commission, with the news, with everything that they do, including televising our council meetings so you can see us. They are now, instead of the quarterly newsletter, which was in print and mail, they are now doing this year, they instituted the email, the electronic newsletter, which will be done monthly. So you will have a monthly newsletter in Oakland, which will give you more up-to-date information. If you have any articles, you have any information you want to submit to the newsletter, this is what you do. You just simply email oaklandcrossroads@gmail.com. That's OAKLANDCROSSROADS, all one word, at gmail.com. oaklandcrossroads@gmail.com. But the deadline each month is the 15th of the month, 2 weeks before the end of the month. So if you have an article you want to submit for the newsletter, just get it in by the 15th. The deadline for this month is August 15th, which is next Wednesday. If you have not signed up for the newsletter, it's very simple. It will come to you via email. You go to the Oakland website, you look for the communications webpage, and once you get on the webpage, I'm told there's a banner. It's very simple. I did it. It's not a problem. You just go on the Oakland, the communication, you go on the Oakland website, click on for the communications webpage, and then just click on, it will tell you what to do in order to receive the newsletter. And, it's very warm in here, usually it's very cold, sorry. And the last thing for this evening is to talk about what happened last night. I know a lot of the reporters were calling all of us. They were calling all hours of the night and this morning. First of all, I want to thank our police department and our fire department. I know I was in constant contact with Councilman Bobby Knapp. There was a lot of people up at Ramapo Park with the drownings. There was a lot of misinformation, a lot of rumors going around. I was misquoted. I mean, I read what I said, and I said, I didn't say this yesterday. I didn't say this morning. And I'm told, I spoke to the mayor of Wanacue, and I said, they didn't quote you, and he said, because I don't answer their calls. So if there's a quote by me, assume it's not an exact quote. But I don't have any further information other than that it was 2 young adults that drowned up at the lake in Ramapo Park. And Ramapo Park it's interesting because it's a state park with jurisdiction to the New Jersey State Park Police. But Oakland has residents who live there. There's Wanacue in there. Is there a third town?
No, it's Oakland.
Pompey.
I thought it was, is it Pompton? I thought it was Mawa, a piece of Mawa in there. at
On
one
the other
point.
side of the road, but not where this took place.
No, I know that. But, so the park has residents from different towns. Not only is it different municipalities, but you're also dealing with 2 different counties. But right now, everything is in the hands of Passaic County and the State Park Police. So, that's all I have for tonight. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to open to the public.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes. Anybody wish to speak?
Hello, I'm Sherry Angermuller, 24 Lakeview Terrace in Oakland.
Welcome.
I have 3 things I want to mention. I know there's going to be some discussion soon about the lake where the boat dock is. It's generally known as Potash Lake, but according to the tax records, it is Schuyler Lake, which the Women's Club named, if you remember, maybe some years ago, that they said that was based on one of the first Dutch settlers back.
I did that before my time.
Okay.
There was not
okay.
many things before my time. I think that is.
No, that they designated the name as Schuyler Lake. So I know it's going to be coming up, so I just wanted to let you guys know there's going
Thank you.
to be discussion. And as a resident, I'm suggesting that perhaps if a sign is erected, it could say either Potash Lake, also known as Schuyler Lake, or Schuyler Lake, also known as Potash Lake, so that, to kind of simplify things.
Well, you're our expert on history in Oakland, so make sure that we contact you before anything is done.
Oh, I appreciate that. And, the second thing is that I'm hoping some work on the Van Allen house is going to be done. I don't know when that's scheduled. The roof is leaking in the back of the museum room, and I know it was supposed to get started. I was told.
Any word from the architect? Councilman Bialy?
No, nothing
No,
yet.
they're working on it.
They're working on it.
Yes, it's in the hands of the architect right
The
now.
architect is preparing a plan,
Yes.
and when, Margaret Hickey, and when she gets it done, she'll get it to Rich, and we'll discuss it at a council meeting.
They're hoping before the winter time.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, good.
Number 3.
Yeah.
I'll give her a call tomorrow,
Oh, great.
okay?
So Ryan Schwetfiger just said, was glad you were talking about the communications committee, and he just said to mention that we need volunteers, we need people to help film the council meeting and do other things. So
Thank you.
I want to put that out there.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak? No? Motion closed?
So moved.
Second?
Aye.
Second.
All in favor? Okay. Approval of minutes. July 25th, 2018. Are there any, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Mayor,
Yes,
I'd just like, I know,
we need a second.
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 Now,
Okay, Mayor. I saw in the minutes that there was a resident who asked about the flood map, the modified flood maps or the preliminary flood maps that are out. And he asked whether or not, we knew when the new maps would be enacted. And the answer is nobody knows right now. They were supposed to be enacted in a year, and we've been told for the last 3 or 4 years.
what does it say in the minutes?
says Bill Levito, Park Drive.
Oh, we didn't go into detail.
Right.
Okay, but now we got the detail, but it's not a reflection of the minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought that was, then I stand corrected.
It's okay.
Oh, okay.
No, that's good information.
I just wanted to let them know that we do constantly ask, because the preliminary flood maps show many parts of Oakland in better condition than they were as a result of the Army Corps project. But the entire Newark watershed is a huge body of water to do. And I know in certain towns like Bloomingdale, they had some issues, so they're going over them. But we keep asking, and they keep telling us hopefully next year.
But the issue in the minutes is accurate? What was
Yes,
written?
I agree, the minutes.
Okay.
Oh, I have to abstain from that, I wasn't here for that.
Oh, okay. So with that, anything else on the minutes? Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Nat.
Yes.
Councilman Kamala.
Yes.
Councilman Levy.
Abstain?
Councilman Talamini.
Yes.
Then we have minutes from the executive session of July 25th, 2018. By the way, that was your birthday, now that I remember.
Yes.
So yes, belated happy birthday.
Thank
It was
you.
your birthday that night.
I'm 20.
If you have,
What?
if you have any changes to the minutes, it will have to be done during exec. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Will there be any change, any questions, additions, deletions? Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Nat.
Yes.
Councilman Kamala.
Yes.
Councilman Levy.
Abstain?
Councilman Talamini.
Yes.
At the last council meeting, we were asked about a proclamation. And here is the proclamation, which is signed. I'm going to read it. It said we would do it for this council meeting. Whereas the people of Oakland establish a culture of nonviolence when they treat each other with respect and compassion, giving food to the hungry, clothing to those in need, and standing in solidarity against racism. And whereas our first responders practice nonviolence when they bring healing to the pain and suffering resulting from violence. And whereas our police officers internalize a spirit of nonviolence when they respond peacefully while protecting the community from violent offenders. And whereas our students demonstrate nonviolence when they stand publicly against bullying and gun violence. And whereas our mayor and council practice nonviolence toward the earth when they choose to protect our sensitive and beautiful highlands from overdevelopment. And whereas we embrace a commitment to nonviolence when we use peaceful methods of dealing with conflict instead of resorting to the destructiveness of war, which has caused so much suffering in the lives of our veterans. And I don't think I'm being heard because my light wasn't on, but I don't have to do, in the back, I don't have to reread this, I hope. They heard,
A
okay.
voice from within says it's okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, great voice.
All right, I'll go to the last one. Whereas our mayor and council practice nonviolence towards the earth when they choose to protect our sensitive and beautiful highlands from overdevelopment, and whereas we embrace a commitment to nonviolence when we use peaceful methods of dealing with conflict instead of resorting to the destructiveness of war, which has caused so much suffering in the lives of our veterans and their families. Now, therefore, I, Linda H. Schwager, Mayor of Oakland, New Jersey, with concurrence of the Borough Council, do hereby proclaim September 15th through 23rd, 2018, as the Week of Peace and Nonviolence in Oakland, New Jersey, and urge all citizens to help develop within our borough a culture of nonviolence in the hope of ending war, poverty, racism, and environmental destruction. We have a request to waive permit fees for the Eagle Scout project. You will have it. It's from Frank Orlando, and he's a Boy Scout from Troop 5 in Ridgewood. He is building an open roof structure that will cover existing outdoor dog cages at the Ramapo Bergen Animal Refuge in Oakland. And there are permit fees for this project. Since this is an Eagle Scout project, the labor time as well as materials are all done through volunteers and donated materials. donation plan with 84 Lumber to get a discounted price. And they're asking, and it's going to be all volunteer workers, and he's asking if it would be possible to waive the permit fee for this project.
Mayor, I spoke with Dan Hagberg, our construction official, just to ask what the fee would be. He said normally it's $22 per $1,000 cost of project with a minimum fee of $65. So it would be at least $65.
Okay, so thank you. So the minimum fee for this project would be $65. Is there a motion?
I make a motion to waive the fee.
Second.
Any discussion on this?
Does he, we just want to make sure that he files the permit, though. This doesn't waive the...
No, it just waives the
Just the
fee.
He
Right.
knows that he has to file for the permit and all that.
We'll make him aware.
Well, yes, we definitely will make them aware of that. Thank you for bringing that up. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Now, there is another request. This is from a resident that they are closing their pool, which is almost 50 years old, and it was made by Buster Crab. Okay, the pool did not have any concrete. It was strictly made with wood, dirt, and a vinyl lining. And they want to do this before school opens. And the only piece that they have not broken up yet is a large cement piece that held the diving board. They have a contractor that will be handling the rest of it. But because they have a septic in their backyard, they cannot have them drive their equipment across the yard. And they're asking for permission to allow their contractor to drive their Bobcat and small excavator up the section of the town property that is right behind our pool fence. They will need to park their truck on the road of the town property and drop the dirt on the road. They will put cones around the area when they're working. They will clean up everything when they are done and replace anything if it happens to have any issues. They're saying it should only take 1 day. They also mentioned that after 2 weeks, they will check to see how much has gone down and will complete by adding the last of the dirt. Once they have the pool completed, the fence will be reinstalled that will match the fence that runs along the property next to theirs. Any discussion on this?
Motion.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So this resident who wrote this letter, please contact our borough clerk, Lisa, tomorrow, and she will give you all the information.
We'll give an access agreement for them.
It's gotta be an old pool. Buster Crab was the first movie star I ever met in my life. I was 10 years old.
Is he still alive?
No.
But the movie's black and white or color?
Buster Crab starred in a lot of movies, including
Flash Gordon, right?
Flash Gordon and...
Oh, that's right, he was an actor.
Wait, they
Yeah.
had movies back then?
He also, is it the same Buster Crab?
Yeah, same Buster Crab.
From John from your vaudeville days.
So, what should we do, Mr. Attorney?
There will be an access agreement. I spoke to Mr. Coombs about it. The access agreement just indicates that they have the right of access through the borough property. They'll just give us a certificate of insurance. It's pretty pro forma.
Okay, so, please contact Lisa Duncan, our borough clerk at Borough Hall. All right, we have resolutions. We could do as a consent agenda, but please note that Resolution 18-276 must be carried to our next meeting because that extends the grace period for tax payments. Since we don't know when that is, we will have to carry that resolution. So Resolution 18-268 is to authorize refund of recreation fees for summer camp registration to Lakshmi Goteti at 3 Hunters Run in the amount of $345. 18-269 is to authorize the architect, accessory garage, firehouse 1, total not to exceed $25,600 for the project, and it was submitted by Daniel Dresser, R.A., dated July 18th, 2018. 18-270, authorize architect on the new fire suppression system and suspended ceiling replacement at the Oakland Senior Center. Again, Daniel Dressel, R.A., submitted the proposal, dated July 11th, 2017.
Yeah.
That's
It is.
all? And it's required for the project to not to exceed the amount of the cost of $18,300. Resolution 18271 appoints Sandra Steele as Clerk 1, full-time Clerk 1, at an annual salary of $38,600, effective Monday, August 13th, 2018, to fill the vacant position provided as Secretary to the Planning and Zoning Board, and providing administrative support to the Tax Assessor's Office. And on Resolution 272, confirm appointment of Deputy Registrar, again, Sandra Steele as Deputy Registrar. It's required by the State of New Jersey to have a Deputy Registrar, so that when our regular Registrar is out or on vacation, the Deputy is available. So Ms. Steele will be compensated at an annual stipend of $3,000, effective August 13th, 2018. Resolution 18273, acknowledge the change of business name and assumption of contract value research to Integra Realty Resources. We have a professional contract with Value Research for the purposes of preparing appraisals on behalf of the Borough of Oakland. They've advised the borough they have changed its name to Integra Realty Resources, and this resolution will formally acknowledge this name change. 18274, award contract for CFO monitoring services to Phoenix Consulting Group. As you know, we hired a CFO, but he still needs some mentoring, and this is a service provided by Phoenix Consulting Group, the amount not to exceed $20,000. The funds are available in the accounts listed, and that is to help our current CFO. Resolution 18275, authorize capital alternatives to prepare grant roller hockey ring, Trubin Field Rehabilitation, and repair the can't even talk tonight, sorry. Trubin Field Rehabilitation and repair of roller hockey ring. And again, 276 will be carried. Is there a motion is there anyone who wants to pull out any? Is there a motion to approve this consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Nah.
Yes.
Councilman Kamali.
Yes.
Councilman Levy.
Yes.
Councilman Talamini.
Yes.
We have no ordinances tonight to go over. Work session items. Since we don't have our borough administrator, to you.
You have two items on the agenda tonight for work session. First is to amend code, your code for hunting and discharge of firearms. The state circulated last year a memo regarding that various municipal ordinances were not in conformance with state law regarding the discharge of firearms and also the use of bow hunting equipment. In conjunction with the police department, we have revised the ordinance to conform with state law. And in addition, we've also identified how weapons could be discharged either by animal control officers or police officers in the performance of their duties. So that's what this ordinance does. If you go to the state statute, the language in the first two parts of the ordinance is the exact language that the state has provided, because some ordinances were more restrictive, where you would not permit a discharge within your community. However, discharges are permitted on state and county lands.
Thank you. And if anybody wants to read the section, it's Chapter 3, Section 9 in the Borough of Oakland's code, and it's entitled Hunting and Discharge of Firearms. You all have a copy of the proposed ordinance. You have a copy of the letter from our officer in charge, Captain Cinzari, Keith Cinzari, and you also have a list of cases that you can refer to if you're interested. So what does everybody want to do? Anyone want to speak?
Can I just ask a question real quick?
Of course.
To the attorney? I'm looking at 3-9-1A, And I just want to make sure I understand, it says,
The first paragraph.
paragraph, can't discharge, I think it says something, a person can't even possess a loaded weapon within 450 feet of any structure in the borough.
That's the exact language that the state requires.
How does that affect retired police officers or off-duty?
It doesn't affect police officers in the discharge of their duty. Basically, retired. This is, well, if he's retired and he's allowed to carry, it's a different, you're looking at different standards here. So when you have a firearms ID, you are permitted to transport your weapon. Your weapon is to be in a locked box, and your ammunition is to be separated. If you have the right to carry a weapon, that weapon can be loaded.
Thank you. No further
Okay,
questions.
anybody else? All right, so do you,
It should
everybody
be listed
agrees?
for an introduction.
Yes, Gwen? Okay. The next item, again, our borough attorney must help us because Mr. Coons is not here. It's Holiday Bowl, 29 Spruce Street. You all have a copy of the letter from the attorney for Holiday Bowl, Darrell Sis. He's representing Holiday Bowl, and it's regarding parking. So,
So
yes.
if you take a look at the Holiday Bowl with the drawing that was provided by Mr. Sis, and you look along Spruce Street, you will see that there are parking spaces that exist that are behind the curb line, but are within the municipal right-of-way. So it looks as though there are a couple feet where they extended those spaces. They were before the board for an approval. The Board of Adjustment, this was discovered, the approval was granted, subject to Holiday Bowl obtaining some authorization from the borough. This is not unusual in more urban-type communities. It is somewhat unusual for Oakland, but in light of the fact that it's behind the curb line, I would just suggest that it be licensed, and that if they have to move them, if for some reason there's a road widening in the future, they will have to move them.
Anybody have any objection?
No.
None.
Okay, thank you. So what,
We will prepare a license agreement, and then it'll be on for authorization once they sign.
at the next,
It depends
whenever.
how long if we get a response from them, but they'll have a license agreement this week.
okay, thank you. Anybody have any new business? Council committee reports. Councilman Salamini,
I have no reports. Thank you.
next.
Very short, library furnitures, rest of furniture is being installed at this time, and they're going through punch list items. And just a quick reminder, as the mayor has said, and Ryan, please remember to sign up for the electronic newsletter. And at the same time, if you have any ideas for stories or photos that you'd like to see in the newspaper, please use that same site to get that information to us. And also still looking for volunteers for both the TV committee and the newsletter committee. And the chairman asked me to also recognize the fact that the DPW and Jimmy and his guys are doing such a good job installing all the new desks and updating the control room. That's all I have. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Yes, Senior Center update, August 30th, movie, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m., that's a Thursday. Seabiscuit will be seen at the Senior Center. August the 16th, bingo, 1 p.m., $1 a card with refreshments. Summer concert is also that evening on the 16th at the Oakland home.
Care Center up on
Care Center.
Breakneck Road.
And September the 6th, there'll be a presentation from personnel from Valley Hospital at the Senior Center on functional foods. DPW, workers are keeping busy, you may see them around, keeping our drinking water system clean and compliant with the new NJDEP Water Quality Accountability Act. You may notice the staff exercising distribution system valves and flushing fire hydrants in the area. Just to give you an idea how much time this consumes, using 2 men, we're averaging 18 minutes to open, clean, and exercise each valve. You will notice that most street intersections throughout our municipality have 3 or 4 valves at each location. So it's taking 2 men approximately 1 hour to complete each intersection. This time spent does not include main line valves which are installed at a minimum of every 500 feet throughout the system, and hydrant valves being located at every fire hydrant. Streetlights. Rockland Electric has recently upgraded specific fixtures requested by residents on Oneida, Calumet, and Minnehaha Boulevard. They have also upgraded 5 fixtures on Manitou in the area of the school at the borough's request, and Rockland plans to continue working on Manitou and Church Lane, then finish this year's allotment of 17 fixtures by changing another request by a resident on Pawnee. Rockland hopes to finish this year's project within the next few weeks. DPW received notification through residents on Facebook and an email from our own councilman, Bobby Knapp, about patches of poison ivy growing in the wooded area by the walking paths.
We have a before and after.
Since the report, a contractor was hired to remove the poison ivy from the known area, then inspect and remove the problem from the recreation complex and Truman soccer fields. Thank you to the residents, and thank you to Councilman Knapp for letting us know.
And taking a bullet for the team.
And taking a bullet for the team. An employee from Boswell may be seen working in the borough. He will be here throughout the rest of the year with GPS equipment, working on water system mapping and on asset management inventory project. I just got to tell you something. I received a few emails from residents about, we've had these here violent storms that come in and relieve us within an hour or two, and I received several phone calls and emails from residents about trees that were knocked down or limbs that were knocked down. And I sent Anthony, on Saturday morning, I sent him a request.
Tell everybody who Anthony is.
Anthony Marcaselli, our DPW superintendent. And I sent him a request I received from Jenny and Charlie Page up on Academy Circle, that the oak tree in front of their house had some split branches, and Charlie went out and trimmed back the branches so it wouldn't hit people walking up and down Academy Circle. So I received this email yesterday from, this morning I received it, from Jenny Page. Hi, John, thank you so much, and she put about 6 zeros after the so, for the help with the oak tree. I know you get things done quickly, but certainly didn't expect to see the men here on Monday morning. They did a great job cutting branches and cleaning up the area. We sincerely appreciate your help, and of course your quick response. Keep cool, Jenny and Charlie Page. So I just wanted to send a shout out to Anthony to thank him and the crew for responding in such quick manner. And I also received a call from another resident on Academy, Dave Sandler, who had another problem with a tree down, and also a root system upending some of his sidewalk in front of his house. And Anthony also made a stop, his men made a stop at his house, and they're taking care of that as well. So thank you all to the DPW guys. If you see them working around, just give them a thank you for the work they do. That's my report, Mayor.
Councilman.
Thank you, Mayor. There is no flood commission report because there's no flood commission meetings in July and August. The next flood commission meeting will be the second Monday in September at 7:30 at the Senior Center. Just want to quickly remind people that we have 2 members leaving at the end of this year, so the flood commission will be looking for 2 new members. If anybody wants to participate, it can be pretty rewarding sometimes. So if it's of interest, contact Lisa Duncan, our borough clerk, and she can give you a citizen leadership form and start the process.
Or you can contact Councilman Levy or myself.
Or what she said. We did have a meeting with the Army Corps of Engineers and the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection regarding the part of the Ramapo River that the Army Corps did their project on. They're going to be submitting us a report with maintenance items and some repairs if they find any that they feel are urgently needed to be done. Once we get those, we will review them and take appropriate action. For the Station Park Committee, I guess we can combine that with the Grant Committee. I'm very happy to say that the Station Park grant, the borough's, all of our obligations have been satisfied. The grant is now in the process of being applied online with our grant company, Capital Alternatives. We hope to have some word on financing for Station Park in the near future. The other major projects that we are working on are the Patriots Way Bridge rehabilitation. We're looking for our second grant for that. The issue currently is that due to the condition of the bridge, when the state or county inspected it, it was determined to have more defects than originally thought. And now the damage report is at the counter, and we have to wait to get that back before we can generate a bid specification, which is what we need as a work item in order to take the steps to get the next part of that grant. But we are asking people who have hopefully some clout to see if they can expedite that report to us. And I guess the other major project that we're working on imminently is the roller rink and our Green Acres grant, which you've heard us all put into resolution tonight. We've authorized our grant company to go after the grant so we can fix the roller rink for the kids, and we're going to do a field rehabilitation in town also as part of that grant. And I think that's, Eric, did I get it all?
Yes, you did, Lou. Yeah, it was, I was pouring water, sorry.
Well, no, it's okay, you go ahead.
No, no. No, like I said, as Lou has stated, I know we've waited a long time for the roller rink to be rehabilitated, and there's two grants in, one with the county and also the one going in with Green Acres.
Yeah.
And we also, by direction of the Rec Commission, they also wanted to do some enhancements to Truman Field as well. So
Great. Thank
the good
you.
news is the process is in place. Thank you.
And then the last thing that we're working on is we're working with the fire department, see if we can get them a grant so they can get a nice new fire truck.
Okay.
Which if we do, then I think I should
That
get
would
a
be
ride
great.
in it.
Thank you.
And on that, we'll transition.
Councilman,
No report.
just want to say that next week, well, first of all, our engineer is here, Kevin Boswell, and I want to thank him for all the work he's helping us with, because next week we have a meeting with Northwest Bergen Utilities Authority, and I'm proud to say, and I'm convinced, I could say, that sewers are coming. I really feel very strongly. I've been working hard since the first day I took office, and I really feel very strongly, very positive, that we will get sewers, not the whole town, but sewers are coming, which will help our downtown, help our businesses, and help the commercial part of town. Thank you, Kevin, also for giving us John McKimmick. He's been working very hard with our residents. The treatment plant up on Tuscarora that he's been working so hard to help the resident with. So thank you to that. And again, as Councilman Bialy said, our DPW is just incredible. So if you have any problems and you call, and then we call Anthony, our supervisor, he's just in no time. There's a pothole and needs a quick fix, he's out there. Trees, anything to pick up, they're there. And I want to thank Councilman Bialy and Councilman Talamini for joining me last week. We had a very productive meeting with our school board superintendent, Gina Cafaro, and members of the school board. We work very close. I think I've mentioned this many times. I go to a lot of mayors' meetings, and I listen to mayors talk about any kind of problems they have. You know, the school board should do this, whereas the town does that, and they don't seem to get along. Where I've never, ever seen a problem in Oakland where we haven't worked together. And it was a very good meeting, and we will be having more productive meetings with the school superintendent regarding school safety, regarding children walking to schools, and it was very promising. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to open to the public.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody? You're allowed to get up and speak.
First of all, I'd like to thank you, Mayor Schwager, and the council for your kindness in issuing the proclamation and for your commitment to peace and nonviolence. Secondly, I'd like to tell anyone watching that the climax of that week will be Sunday afternoon, the 23rd of September, when we will be having a prayer walk from Messiah Lutheran Church to Veterans Park. and we will stop at various places along the way where religious leaders from town will lead us in prayer. We'll stop at the First Aid Squad, the Police Department, Valley Middle School, and the municipal offices.
Okay.
So I
What
hope-
time?
It's at 3 o'clock at Messiah Lutheran Church.
All right, we also, you forgot to tell us your name and address when you came up to speak.
My name is Beatrice Mundare, and I'm representing Our Lady of Perpetual Help Social Justice.
But you have to give your
Ministry.
street address, an Oakland resident.
I'm not an Oakland resident.
Oh, no more, oh, well, let's look at, where do you live?
I live in Wanacue.
Okay, well, you're allowed.
You're still allowed here, it's okay. No, we like-
2119 Warren's Way in Wanacue, New Jersey.
Well, a lot of our residents left Oakland and moved to Warren's Way, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, very productive area. I'm very lucky, we have a wonderful borough clerk, Lisa. If I make an error, she reminds me very discreetly, she says, you have to get her name and address on the record.
Oh, thank you, Lisa.
So thank you, Lisa.
Thank you. Mayor Schrager.
Yes, anybody else? If not, motion closed. Ooh, you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm good, I'm sorry.
Don't apologize.
That was a fine landing.
Actually, it was the most exciting we had tonight.
That was a great landing.
Where are we?
Bills to be paid.
We did the motion to close?
Yes.
Okay. Bills to be paid. Oh,
You want me to do it? I'll do it.
yes, I was gonna say, oh, I'm looking at Pat. Is that here?
Pat is not here, Linda, see?
Yes.
Total bills to be paid, $1,674,657.56. So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilman Biagi?
Yes.
Councilman Net?
Yes.
Councilman Kamala?
Yes.
Councilman Levy?
Yes.
Councilman Calamini?
Yes.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Tentatively, we're not sure, but as of now, the next meeting will be on Wednesday, August 22nd, 2018. If for any reason we do not have the meeting, you will get a lot of notice on this. But as of now, it's on for Wednesday, August 22nd. Thank you and have a good night and safe.